It's time for the kickoff of the second half of Quack's Marble Clash Season 2. Hello everyone, I'm your host Quack, and today we have basketball, a brand new event this season. It's a bracket event, as many have been before, but as you can see, the King Crabs have the point lead at the start of the second half, as they did last season, though with a much lower point total than they did last time, so it's not quite as safe. But we begin with basketball, a brand new event. It really is a very unique event. It might be a bit reminiscent of hoop jumping from last season in terms of concept, but it's very different. As you can see here, it's a very complex event where the marbles will, one at a time for each team, go down and try to get into the hoop. And if they do, they will score a point for their team, and the team with the most points will move on. It will be a bracket event. You'll see how it works as we begin with the King Crabs point leaders against the Soaring Skies at the very bottom of the standings, and the King Crabs not off to a great start. The reserve Spider here not being able to make it in. And the marbles will be going in reverse roster order, so the reserve will be up first. Same for Soaring Skies. They will try it, and they will go in. It looks like they just managed to get through, I think. Yes, they did. You can see in this camera angle. So the Soaring Skies will be off to a good start here to try and beat the King Crabs. Now let's see what Coconut can do for the King Crabs. Precise, but ooh, it looks like they were just a bit too low. And we're going to see a lot of different strategies involved here. This is a very strategic event compared to perhaps the real-life counterpart. But now the Soaring Skies, their second marble, not quite able to capitalize on the King Crabs faltering there, so the Soaring Skies, it'll say 1-0 in the Soaring Skies' favor. Now, the third marble for the King Crabs, did they go in there? It looked like they got very close at the very least. I'm not sure. Ooh, they did not. They were not high enough. And we've seen a couple marbles already with a precise line, but not able to get high enough in the Soaring Skies. That's not quite what fell them. They just bounced off the rim a little bit. They're so close to going in, but for now, still only 1 point on the board for the Soaring Skies. Now the King Crabs down to their penultimate marble. They will go in. The King Crabs bringing it back here. Now it's going to be a tied game. It's not going to be quite as close as we thought. Now the Soaring Skies have to pounce on the opportunity to get back into the lead, and they will. They get a precise basket right there, bouncing off the backboard. A pretty excellent jump there, actually bouncing off the rim and the backboard, but now with a 2-1 lead. The King Crabs have to score here or it will be over. Their Captain Fiddler reigning MVM, they won't be able to get it done. Not enough height, and that means the Soaring Skies will be moving on against the current point leaders. Of course, the Soaring Skies, their captain hasn't gone yet. They will get one more chance to extend the lead, and they do. Asserting dominance are the Soaring Skies with their captain, just barely making it in there, but a 3-1 victory is very impressive for the team currently at the bottom of the standings. Now we move on to Team Pixie versus the Loaves of Bread. We'll see what these teams can do, and we are off. It's immediately a very precise jump for the Team Pixie, but it's not going to be high enough. The reserve Miracula not able to put a point on the board at the start. Now let's see what Toast can do for the Loaves of Bread, and they're off. Ooh, hard bounce off the rim, and it's not going to happen. We're starting 0-0 for both teams, and it's not boding well for either one. Now, the second marble for Team Pixie, another one very similar to the first, where it's just a little too low and banging right into the net, but not able to actually go into the hoop. And now the Loaves of Bread, can their second marble capitalize? No, neither team is really capitalizing on the failures of the other. Both teams are struggling quite a bit. You can see how hard their impact was, though, rotating the entire basket around. But, oh, another one for Team Pixie. They've been very consistent throughout with getting precise jumps that are just too low. And now they're already down 3 marbles, and Loaves of Bread still have 3 more to go. Ooh, that was a very imprecise jump there. Way too far to the left side for roll of the Loaves of Bread. And now we're already only 2 marbles left on either side. Still no points on the board. Team Pixie will finally sink one. And that was a good basket there. A little bit better than their teammates with just getting enough height. They weren't quite as precise, but we're seeing how height is another big impact. And now can the Loaves of Bread, they will capitalize there, getting another goal to match the Team Pixie. And now heading into the final marble for each team, the pressure is on with the tied game currently. And let's see what the captain can do. Oh, they just barely bounce off the rim, bouncing off the backboard, really. And you can see they rotated right around. They were so close to going in, but they will not be going in. Magica, the captain, not able to get it done. Now will the Loaves of Bread do it? No! They will bounce off the rim, and because it is a tied game, with every marble already done, we will go to overtime, meaning the reserves for each team will come back out. Let's see what Miracula can do if they score here. They will score here, which means now Toast from the Loaves of Bread will have a chance to respond, but if they don't score, that will be the end. Team Pixie now have a 2-1 lead. The Loaves of Bread have to score, or they are out. And they will not get it done. Toast too far to the right side. Not going to happen for the Loaves of Bread, but that means Team Pixie will be moving on in our first overtime match. We'll see if that happens more often or not. And now the City Lights and Flying Saucers, 2 teams that came up from the B-League last season, and the City Lights off to the left side, not great at all for their reserve lamp. It's pretty disastrous for them there. We'll see if the Flying Saucers can capitalize on that with their reserve Terran, and they will capitalize. That was a perfect goal there. Straight down the center, just the right amount of height, and they will comfortably get a very good score there with a 1 up against the City Lights 0. Now the City Lights have the chance to counterattack, and they will with a precise bounce there. You can see even knocking the backboard around, rotating it to get it better into position. We'll see if that's a strategic move that other teams like to use or not. Now the Flying Saucers, can they respond? No, they will bounce off the rim right back toward the ramp. It's a phenomenon we've seen quite a few times, but it's not going to pay off. Now it's a 1-1 tie, and we move on to the next round. It's not going to happen for the City Lights' third marble, which means that the Flying Saucers now have 3 attempts left to get the lead, while the City Lights only have 2. Now let's see what the Flying Saucers can do, and it's going to be off to the side for them as well, which means we'll stay tied with only 2 marbles apiece. Heading into these last couple of rounds, it's looking like it's going to get more intense as we move on to the next City Lights marble. It's not going to happen, just going off to the right side. And this started to look a bit like the last match with a 1-1 draw heading into the last couple, but of course the Flying Saucers still have 2 marbles left, and it was a very precise jump, but once again too low, similar to a lot of Team Pixie's jumps, but it's 1-1 with only 1 marble left for each team. Now, the captain of the City Lights not able to get it done. That means we will either head to overtime or the Flying Saucers will win. The City Lights are going to be apprehensive watching this last one. Now, the Martian, the captain of the Flying Saucers, will put one in, and the Flying Saucers will be moving on to the second round. That was pretty impressive there. Once again, rearranging the board a little bit, the backboard a little bit, just to get a better bounce. But now we move on to the Stingrays versus the home team, the Stone Golems. And we are off. Leopard for the Stingrays, not able to get one in for the first bounce. We've seen that a lot of marbles are really struggling to get their bounce here early on and score points. But now Mecha for the Stone Golems, did they put one in there? It looked like they might have. And yes, they did. The Stone Golems will start out with 1 point on the board to the Stingrays 0. That's a very good start for the home team. Now the Stingrays, will they counterattack? Yes, they will. Their 4th marble doing an excellent job there to put one in. Pretty not the most precise, but bouncing off the rim in just the right way will allow them to tie the game. Now the Stone Golems have to respond well here with Android, and they will not. Bouncing off the rim way over to the far side is not how you want to do it, with a very high bounce and a 1-1 draw with 3 marbles on each team left to go. Now the Stingrays will put another one in. That was a very impressive one there. I didn't think that was going to go in, but bouncing off the rim in a very precise way, despite not having the most height, will give the Stingrays the lead now with a 2-1, 2 to the Stingrays 1. I mean, Stone Golems 1, but it's not going to be good for Construct of the Stone Golems, bouncing off way too low, barely even making contact with the rim, and now the Stingrays, it's in their favor. Now Manta of the Stingrays will put one in, another one for the Stingrays, and at this point it looks like it might already be over for the Stone Golems. 3-1 now. The Stingrays have a pretty comfortable lead. And now we head in for the next marble. The Stone Golems, they will put one in. It's not quite over yet. The Stone Golems still have a fighting chance. It looks like they might have even gone through the hole in the back, but that will still count. They will still put another point on the board. But the Stingrays can clinch the victory here with the point. And no, they will not. Actually, their captain, Sting, bouncing out all the way out of the arena here. And that's a pretty interesting strategy. But that means the Stone Golems, if they score here, we will go to overtime. But they do not. And that means the Stingrays will guarantee their advancement. That's another team higher in the standings that could definitely use the extra points. Currently in the top 4. As now we move on to the Red Rockets versus the Pollen Puffs. Speaking of top 4, the Red Rockets currently high up there. They will immediately get one with their reserve payload. That was pretty impressive there. Bouncing off the backboard. It looked like they stalled in the air for a minute. Just the amount of momentum they had. But now the Pollen Puffs trying to respond. It's a pitiful jump there. Not any good for the Pollen Puffs trying to get a point on the board, but the Red Rockets will start off with the lead. Now their second marble tank, how will they compare? It's not good at all. Very imprecise, way off to the left side. It's not going to happen for the second marble for the Red Rockets. Will the Pollen Puffs be able to capitalize here? We have to see now, and they're off. It's, once again, another one off to the left side. It seems like both teams here are struggling to be precise. We've seen in other rounds where precision was fine, but they struggled more with just getting enough height. But Fuselage of the Red Rockets will get a point here. That was pretty impressive precision there. Evidently mastered it after seeing their teammates and not even touching the backboard, it doesn't look like. Now with a 2-0 lead, the Red Rockets, it's in their favor. Will the Pollen Puffs respond? No, they will not. Another one bouncing off to the side. The Pollen Puffs really cannot seem to get a grip with this event. Trying to be precise, it's just not working out for them so far. Now, with only a couple more marbles to go, the Red Rockets will get another point. That was pretty impressive by Booster. doing an excellent job to bounce from one side to the other, get a better launch, and rolling away in triumph there with now a 3-0 lead. I think it's already too late for the Pollen Puffs to win. They might still be able to save face with another point, but no, it's still not going to happen. The Pollen Puffs, oh, it's a disaster for them here. There's only their captain left to run. Meanwhile, the Red Rockets trying to assert dominance with another point. Ooh, that's so close. Their captain Thruster dancing around on the rim for almost a second at least, but it's just not going to happen. And that means that the Red Rockets will cap out at 3. Can the Pollen Puffs at least bring one home? No, it's tragic for the Pollen Puffs. The first team we've seen get 0 points on the board, and that their captain doing the worst of them all, not even making contact with the hoop, just bouncing off the wall. But now we move on to the Rose Rollers versus the Slush Rush, and we are off. The Rose Rollers off to a bad start with a very imprecise jump, similar to Pollen, who we just saw in the last round. The Slush Rush will have a great opportunity to counterattack here with the reserve flurry, and they will get one in. That was a very precise score there, just right off the backboard, not too low, not too high, and 1-0 will be the score after the first marble for each team. Now the Rose Rollers have a chance to respond, but it's not going to work out. The Rose Rollers not off to a great start here. It seems like they can't quite find their footing, similar to the other flower-related team that went before them, but now Grapple for the Slush Rush will get another one in. Back-to-back goals for the Slush Rush. This is a very good start for them, and we've seen how the Slush Rush like to go very low and just go for a low angle. That way they don't have to be quite as precise. Now the Rose Rollers, will they try to replicate that? Yes, they will, and it actually will work out. The Rose Rollers get a point on the board, seemingly using a similar strategy, even landing in the little divot in the hoop, but now it's only 2-1. The Slush Rush need to stay strong here, and will that be another one? I'm not quite sure if they managed to go in, and yes, they did. The Slush Rush get another point on the board. They are so far 3 for 3. Very impressive by the Winter team, but now the Rose Rollers have a chance to respond, and they will get another one. This is a very high-scoring match here. The Rose Rollers not to be outdone by the Slush Rush, and now it's 3-2 with one marble left for each team. If the Slush Rush score here, it will be over, and ooh, it's not going to happen. Oh, I actually stand corrected. There's at least one more left for their team as well, so it's not quite over yet, but the Slush Rush have a lead now. The Rose Rollers have to score here. It's not going to happen. So now that means the Slush Rush have guaranteed they will be moving on to round 2. The Rose Rollers are struggling here despite doing so well in the last event, but now the Slush Rush, their captain, trying to assert dominance. It's not going to happen, but they will still get a very impressive victory here. 3-2, one of the highest scoring matches we've seen all day. But now we move on to the Ivy League and the Snapping Turtles, a very green matchup, and the Ivy League currently higher up in the order. Oh, that's a very good start for the reserve Bettina, doing an excellent job there. They're the gold medalists back in Sand Moguls and showing that they're a very skilled athlete. Meanwhile, the Snapping Turtles, they respond with Shelby. Can they get a goal? Ooh, it's not going to happen. They were very fast down that ramp and bouncing off the rim very quickly. They had a lot of speed, but speed doesn't really count for anything in this event. It's just about precision. And their second marble, another one for the Ivy League. Off to a great start here, 2 for 2. And now the Snapping Turtles are already in a bit of a deficit, need to make those gains now if they want to continue. Now their second marble, will they go in? Ooh, it's very precise, but it's just too low. You can see not a good launch angle off the ramp, and now it's 2-0 for the Ivy League. If they can get another point here, it's going to be difficult for the Snapping Turtles to catch up, and they will do it again with Needle Point. The Ivy League are so now 3 for 3, and that means the Snapping Turtles already need to get another point, get a point here, or they will be out. And their third marble is not going to get it done. That means it's already over. Disastrous for the Snapping Turtles so far. Of course, there's still a couple more runs to go to try and save face at the very least, but the Ivy League have so far been perfect. And another one for the Ivy League. They've been 4 for 4. Very impressive there. Can they get the fifth? It's going to be difficult, but they're the first team we've seen get 4 marbles. Now the Snapping Turtles, they're Yertle going out now. Will they get a good bounce here? Yes, they will, and they will get a point on the board at the very least. The Snapping Turtles might not at least get dead last with a point on the board from Yertle, a very experienced athlete, but now we'll see is Hedera, the captain of the Ivy League, will they go in? Yes, they will. The Ivy League go perfect 5 for 5 in this match. Very impressive by them, and the Snapping Turtles have to walk away in shame with that one. Of course, their captain's still yet to go. They might be able to make it 5-2, which would help them quite a bit in the results. Ooh, but it's not going to happen. Bowser bouncing way off to the right side, and the Snapping Turtles will go out in shame here. The Ivy League doing an excellent job. The Snapping Turtles weren't that bad, but just the fact they were up against such a strong performance. And now the Flashbangs and the Checkmates. And we are off immediately. Not a great start for the Flashbangs. We haven't seen them perform that well in a lot of the team events prior, but this will not be a good start for them. Now, Pawn, the reserve of the Checkmates, will they do well here? Yes, they will. Immediately getting one on the board for the team in black and white. That was pretty impressive, bouncing off the rim there, and we've seen a lot of bounces like that result in a very distant from the a very large distance from the hoop, but this time we'll not having the flashbangs. Doing an excellent job there, but, well, not doing an excellent job there. Bouncing off the backboard quite a bit, sending the hoop at a wonky angle. Not able to go in at all. Now the checkmate's not able to respond any better, and now it's starting to look like both teams are getting a little bit stagnant here. Still 1-0 in the checkmate's favor. Now let's see what the third marble for the flashbang can do, and, oh, they will get one in. The flashbangs not going to be, not undone yet. Still have points to score, evidently, and now it's a tied game at the halfway point, but the checkmates have one more marble left to go than the flashbangs do. Ooh, but they will squander that opportunity. Now it's truly a tied game with 2 marbles left on either team and a 1-1 score. Now let's see what the next marble for the flashbangs can do. Will they go in? No, they will not. Very far off immediately from the ramp. You can see they were never even close to the center. They will not be getting a basket here. And that means the checkmates, it's once again in their favor. Can they do it? Oh, that just barely. They're so close. You can see how the marble danced around the rim, but it didn't go in. And that means that now there's only 1 marble left on either team. Can Flair, the captain of the flashbangs, do it? Yes, they can. The flashbangs. Now the ball is in their court, quite literally, but that means the checkmates have to score here or it will be over for them. This match has gone back and forth many times. Can Queen do it? Yes, they can. They just stall in the middle of the hoop, and it will be enough. That means we're going to overtime in the checkmates versus flashbangs round. This one has been quite a heater compared to the last few. We'll see how it goes for overtime. Can the flashbangs do it? No, they cannot. Very poor performance there for their reserve flicker. And now the checkmates have the advantage. They just have to score here, and it will be over. And Pawn will not be able to do it. That means we will go to another round of overtime, and each team will get another chance. This has been quite a close one so far. Will the flashbangs be able to capitalize here? And, oh, did they go in? I believe they did. I'm not super sure, but yes, they did. The flashbangs now have a third point. The checkmates have to score here or it will be over. And there they go. Oh, it's very far off to the side. It's not going to happen, but that means the flashbangs will be moving on in a very close match that went to double overtime. The flashbangs doing an excellent job here in another event, and the checkmates will at least get best of the rest thanks to the double overtime. The loaves of bread also going to overtime means they will get 10th, but disastrous for the Pollen Puffs, already a team pretty low in the order. But now you can see the bracket of the King Crabs once again out in a bracket event. But now the Soaring Skies versus Team Pixie, 2 teams that have proven their worth already in the first round. The Soaring Skies not off to a great start here, not even making contact with anything except for the net, and not in a particularly good way either. Now the Team Pixie, their reserve, will they get one in? No, they will not. And that is not good for either team. Not off to a great start. But, of course, there's still 4 more opportunities for both sides. Now, let's see what Harpy can do. Ooh, it's not going to happen for the Soaring Skies. Off to the left side this time and not even making contact, just bouncing off the wall. Not a good sign for the Soaring Skies. Now, Team Pixie, will they respond better? No, they will not. Neither team has put a single point up in the first 4 runs out of the 10 between both, but still 0-0 now with 3 marbles left apiece. Now the Soaring Skies tried again. Ooh, they're going to be more precise. They will bounce backwards off the rim, I think, but still not going to be able to get one in. And now Team Pixie, they're in their favor once again. Ooh, and they're so close, but still nothing happening. Only 2 marbles left for either team, but neither team has put up a single point so far. Now, each run counts more and more as the Soaring Skies will put one in, and that means the Soaring Skies already have a huge advantage now. The Team Pixie will only have 2 opportunities to get ahead of that. If Team Pixie doesn't win here, then the absolute best they can do is go to overtime. And, oh, that won't be happening here, just too low and not even making contact with the rim. And that means the Soaring Skies can clinch it here with a point. And their captain, Pegasus, will they do it? Yes, they will. The Soaring Skies have guaranteed they will move on to the top 4. Very impressive for a team that is the only one left with 0 medals. Meanwhile, Team Pixie, that they at least can save face here by getting a point. Oh, but they will not. Disappointing for Team Pixie. Not great for a team that's currently doing pretty well, pretty decently at least, in the standings. But now we move on to the Flying Saucers and Stingrays. A very gray matchup here, but the Flying Saucers not a great start here at all. Way off to the left side. Not good for the reserve Terran and bouncing off the backboard, sending the entire hoop at a bit of an angle. And that means that Leopard, the reserve of the Stingrays, can they capitalize? Yes, they can. Doing an excellent job there, showing why they've been one of the stronger teams so far this season, and already getting a point on the board. Now, let's see what the second marble can do for the Flying Saucers. They will get another point, not to be outdone quite so quickly. The Flying Saucers are putting up a fight here, and now we're 1-1. The Stingrays, though, still have more marbles yet to run, So they will have good opportunity here. Will they capitalize? No, they will not. Just barely. They will bounce off the rim. And that means that now it's truly a tied game with 3 marbles left on either side. Now let's see what the next marble can do for the Flying Saucers. Ooh, it's off to the left side once again. We've seen a lot go off to the left side today, and it seems to be the popular side to go down, but it's evidently not the best strategy, as another marble misses. Now the Stingrays, they will try the same thing. It's not working out. A lot of these teams are now falling for the same trap and not able to be precise out of the gate. And the Flying Saucers will do a bit better here, but it's not going to happen. Bouncing off the rim right there. And they were at least more precise, but it's simply not going to pan out for them quite as they'd hoped. Now the Stingrays, ball is in their court once again. Will they take the advantage? No, they will not. Manta is not able to deliver here, bouncing off of the net. And that means that we're down to 1 marble for either team. Now, can Martian do anything? The captain of the Flying Saucers, no, they cannot. Bouncing off the rim, which means the Stingrays need to score here to guarantee the victory. Otherwise, we will be going into overtime. Now, can Sting do it? They messed up round 1, but they will not mess up here. The Stingrays have guaranteed they're going to the semifinals. Very impressive. They're bouncing around underneath the hoop in celebration. That means with a 2-1 victory, very low scoring, they will be moving on. Now, the Red Rockets versus the Slush Rush. 2 teams that have a lot of experience in the league, and right now the Payload not doing a great job here for the Red Rockets, not representing their team the best, but of course there's still 4 more to go. Now Flurry for the reserve of the Slush Rush, and it's a very good score there. That was another one after we saw them do well in the first round. Already a 1-0 lead for the Slush Rush and rolling away in celebration there. Now Tank from the Red Rockets, can they get one done here? No, they cannot. The Red Rockets not off to a good start here. Their first 2 both missing. Now the Slush Rush have an opportunity to expand their lead to 2-0. Will they do it, though? Grapple got a point in the first round, gets their point here, and the Slush Rush now have 2 in a row, as they did in the first round. The Slush Rush already off to a great start here. The Red Rockets need to catch up now with Fuselage. Can they do it, though? No, they cannot. And that's another miss. That one was pretty much wrong in every way. They were way too far off to the left, and they were too low. Very disappointing for the Red Rockets, but now the Slush Rush can clinch here, and they will not. It's not quite over yet. They'll bounce way too high off the rim, and that means the Slush Rush only have 2 marbles remaining, but so did the Red Rockets, and they need to score here. It's not going to happen with Booster missing, and that means the Slush Rush have guaranteed victory. Of course, they can still go for more points, and the Red Rockets can still try to get a better position in the final results, so Hail from the Slush Rush will not quite be able to get it done here. It looks like it will stay at 2-0 for now. Now let's see, the captain of the Red Rockets, can they get redemption here? No, they cannot. The Red Rockets will go with 0 points this round. Very disappointing for a team currently 3rd in the standings. Now, Snow, the captain of the Slush Rush, can they get a point? Yes, they can. The Slush Rush will get a final point here just to seal the deal, and that will be their practice heading into the last couple rounds. But 3-0 will be the final score. Now, the Ivy League versus the Flashbangs, another 2 teams that are currently in the top half of the standings. Ooh, but it's not a good start for the reserve, going way off, not nearly as precise as we saw in the first round where they got all 5 of their marbles in. But now the reserve for the Flashbangs not able to do any better. We haven't seen that kind of consistency from either team so far yet, especially not the Flashbangs in the first round, but we'll see now the second marble for the Ivy League, and it's not going to be enough. They were precise, but it just wasn't going to happen. They were not nearly high enough, and that means it'll be 0 once again so far. Now, can the Flashbangs capitalize here? And they're way off to the right side. It's not going to happen. Even before they got off the ramp, it was pretty obvious they were not nearly precise enough, and we're seeing just how important it is to be able to stay centered. Now, the third marble for the Ivy League will put one in, and the Ivy League getting a bit back to their usual form in this event so far. But now it's 1-0. The Flashbangs only have a few marbles left to try and take the lead back, and they will capitalize here with their third marble, and now it's a tied game with 2 marbles left for either team. This could go either way. Now, let's see what the next marble can do for the Ivy League, and they will go in. Jewelweed doing an excellent job there, which means that now the Ivy League once again have the advantage. Will the Flashbangs be able to take that back, or will they falter here? Now their second marble, let's see them go, and they will get another basket, and that means we're, I believe, 4 marbles in a row so that get the score, and that means there's only 1 left on either team. A single goal could be the difference maker here. Now the captain of the Ivy League, will they go in? Yes, they will. The Ivy League now have guaranteed, at absolute worst, they will go to overtime. Now the Flashbangs, their captain Flair has done an excellent job so far, but they have to score here or it will be over, and they're not going to be able to do it. The Flashbangs, it looks like it might be over for them, bouncing way off to the left side. The Ivy League will win with a 3-2. Now, you can see the results with the Flashbangs getting best of the rest at the very least. The Flying Saucers getting 6th, Team Pixie 7th, and the Red Rockets get 8th. But now we see the bracket. The Soaring Skies, Stingrays, Slush Rush, and Ivy League are the only 4 teams left. Now the Soaring Skies versus the Stingrays. Soaring Skies can guarantee a medal here with a victory. Ooh, and they're going to start with a basket. Off to a great start here, trying to get their first main league medal. And they're doing a great job here with their reserve. But now the Stingrays have a chance to counterattack. Will they take advantage? Ooh, yes they will. Just barely. They bounced way off to the left, it looked like. But using that strategy once again of angling the hoop so that they can get a better launch angle, and it seemed to work out. Now the Soaring Skies have nothing to respond with. That was very pitiful from their second marble, barely even making contact with the rim, and so it will stay 1-1. Now, can the Stingrays capitalize? Yes, they can. Very precise basket there, just perfectly down the middle, bouncing off the rim a little bit, and now the Stingrays have the lead with 3 marbles apiece left, 2-1 so far. Now the third marble for the Soaring Skies. Ooh, it's very precise, but it's just not going to happen. Very low compared to the last few. And that means the Stingrays already now have a big advantage. Can their third marble capitalize? No, they cannot. They'll bounce off the backboard, but it's just not going to happen. They were so close that they bounced a little bit to the right compared to our perspective. It might have worked, but now the Soaring Skies, ooh, at this time, they try to go more to the right. They've seen how many marbles have fallen for the trap of going to the left, but it didn't seem to work out for them. Now the Stingrays, can Manta capitalize here? No, they cannot. And that means that I believe it's going to be down to the wire here. If the Soaring Skies don't score here, it will be over for them. Now their Captain Pegasus, can they do it? No, they cannot. And they will go to the bronze medal match. Still a team that's been very impressive so far, but the Soaring Skies will go no further, at least not yet. Now the Stingrays not able to capitalize here. They will not be getting another point, but of course they've already sealed the deal on going to the finals. Very impressive by a team that's already gotten a couple medals so far. But now the Slush Rush versus the Ivy League. Another 2 teams that have been consistent so far. The Flurry, the reserve of the Slush Rush, not off to a great start here. We've seen them score in both of the first 2 rounds, but it's not going to happen here. Now let's see what the Bettina, the reserve of the Ivy League, can do. And they're off. It's very precise there. That'll be a great start for them. They will guarantee at least 1 point here. And that's off to a pretty good start for a team we've seen that can get on big runs. Now the Grapple, the Slush Rush, not able to get one either. That's another marble that we've seen very consistent so far. But it's not going to happen here. The Slush Rush starting to looks like they're starting to flounder here in the semifinals. Now the Ivy League not able to capitalize on that failure, though. They're still going to miss here. Very far to the left side, very wide. But now let's see what the next marble can do for the Slush Rush. They're looking a bit precise. Oh, and they will go in. Very impressive there by the Slush Rush to take destiny back into their own hands, so to speak. But 1-1 now is the score. Now the Ivy League have to respond here. Ooh, it's not going to happen. Way too low. One of the lowest jumps we've seen, and their arc was already on the down by the time they got to the goal. Now the Slush Rush not able to capitalize on that either. Neither team has been putting up a lot of points so far. The Ivy League now have a chance to counterattack once again. Now let's see, can they do it? No, they cannot. Way off to the left side, bouncing off the backboard quite a bit, sending it at a wonky angle, but it's just not going to happen. Now the Slush Rush, their captain, can they get it done? Yes, they can. They will get another point. That means that Hetero, the captain of the Ivy League, will have one chance to end this, basically. But we'll see if they can do it. And it's not going to happen. They're off to the left side, and the Ivy League will go no further. They will go to the bronze medal match, but of course that's all they're going to get. Now we see the bracket. The Stingrays and Slush Rush will be going to the finals. Neither team has ever won a gold medal in their careers, surprisingly, so at least we will have a brand new gold medalist. But before that, the Soaring Skies versus the Ivy League for the bronze medal. The Soaring Skies have never gotten a main league medal before, and they're the only team, I believe, to do so. And right now they're not off to a good start. 0-0 will be the starting score. Now the Ivy League, can they capitalize? Ooh, no, they will not. At least not yet with the reserve. It's not a good start for either team trying to fight for the medal. Of course, exhaustion is starting to wear in. Both of these teams have already done 3 matches already, and it's not a good sign for the Soaring Skies' second marble either. But as I was saying, exhaustion has got to play a factor once you get this late into the runs. And now the Ivy League not going to be able to capitalize either. Neither team is putting up any points so far in their first 2 marbles. Now let's see what the next Soaring Skies marble can do. And they're off. Will they score a point? No, they will not. Soaring Skies, it's not looking good for a team that's been very hopeful so far. Currently dead last in the standings. Now the Ivy League, can they put a point on the board? No, they cannot. We're now 3 marbles down for both teams. There's only 2 marbles left on either side, meaning that every single basket counts. Can the Soaring Skies get at least 1? No, they cannot. Not yet. And it's starting to look disastrous for the Soaring Skies. We've only seen 2 teams and perhaps 3 go scoreless, and it's not looking good. The Ivy League, though, will put a point on the board, and now it's looking dire for the Soaring Skies. The Ivy League have a point now, trying to get the bronze medal and move up in the standings. Now the Soaring Skies have to get a point here. Oh, and they will not. And it's over for the Soaring Skies. They will have to settle for 4th place. They will not be getting their first medal here. Disastrous and disappointing for one of the most hopeful teams. Now the Ivy League will get another point here, just to assert dominance there, just to rub it in perhaps a little bit. But the Ivy League will be taking the bronze medal with their second score from the captain. But now we move on to the final, the Stingrays and Slush Rush. One of these teams will become a first-time gold medalist, and the Stingrays not off to a great start here. They were a little bit off to the left side, not too far off, but not the precision we've come to expect from a team that's made it to the finals. Now Flurry from the Slush Rush immediately gets one in, and they were already rolling away in celebration. The Slush Rush off to a great start to try and take the gold medal. Now we'll see what the Stingrays can do to try and counterattack with their second marble. And they're off. They will get a goal. They're not going to be outdone quite that easily. They were bouncing off the rim quite a bit, but pretty excellent recovery there to be able to score a point. Now let's see what the second marble can do. Grapple for the Slush Rush. Not going to be able to go in, way too low. And that just looked like exhaustion right there. Not enough height, way off to the right side. And now it's a true tie, 1-1, with 3 marbles left on either side. Now the Stingrays will not be able to capitalize yet, going off to the left side and pretty much missing the rim entirely, including the backboard. And now the Slush Rush have an opportunity to capitalize here. Will they score? No, they will not. And that means we have 2 apiece left. It's still a draw so far, 1-1. Which team will be able to capitalize? Now Manta from the Stingrays will put one in. The Stingrays now have the lead once again. The Slush Rush have 2 chances to put another point on the board and tie the game, but they're going to need them. Now, their second to last marble, it's not going to happen, doing a bit of a ricochet there off the rim onto the camera pedestal, but now that means the Stingrays have the chance to clinch it here with their captain Sting, and they will not quite do it. That means the Slush Rush have 1 chance with their captain to send this to overtime. The Stingrays have to be sweating right now, but Snow, the captain of the Slush Rush, precise, but it's not going to happen. That means the Stingrays will capture the gold. The Slush Rush have to be distressed at that one. Got the first point of the game, but it's just not going to happen. The Stingrays will be getting their first main league gold medal. The Slush Rush will be happy at the very least with silver, and the Ivy League getting a bronze. Now we can see the full results. The Stingrays managed to get multiple points in every single round. Slush Rush did a pretty decent job as well. In the Ivy League, the only team to get a perfect 5, even the only team to get 4, which is very impressive by them. But now we look at the standings. The Stingrays jump into the point lead with their gold medal, and the Flashbangs will hold on to second place. The King Crabs go down into 3rd place. Meanwhile, teams like the Slush Rush move up 5 spots into 6th. And the Soaring Skies not in last place at the very least, as a bit of consolation for their missed medal. But now we move on to the next event, which will be Funnel Endurance. Of course, before that we head back to the B League for their version of basketball. So stay tuned, and thank you for watching.